What up, YouTube? Timbers here. Since this month I'm doing my reviews for school-based films, here's my review for the 1987 film The Principal. Now, The Principal starred pretty much starred Jim Belushi as well as Louis Gossett Jr. and was a really interesting school-based film from the 80s. Here you got James Belushi, who was pretty much very popular back in the 80s. Of course, his brother was the late, great John Belushi. And so here, James Belushi plays like this new principal who's in this, who's the principal of this drug-infested high school who joins forces with this high school security guard played by Louis Gossett Jr. to pretty much clean up the place. And Jim Belushi's Rick Lemmer character, he ends up also spying his ex-wife, named Kimberly, played by Sharon Thomas Kane, in this bar, and he also gets in a fight with the man that she was with. So there's that. And so, Rick, ends up even being promoted to principal of the infamous Brenda High School, where drugs, violence, weapons are usually there. And he also crosses paths with this youth, gang leader named Victor Duncan, portrayed by Michael Wright. And he's also trying to make his speech to end drugs and violence, but of course, Rick also underestimates Victor, and the situation also turns very violent into this very violent confrontation with Rick as he receives a number of death threats. And so he ends up, going head of security. But of course, you got Louis Gossett Jr., who plays the head of security, Jake Phillips, who also helps clean up the school here. And so of course, he is trying to, save the school, and Rick also takes the time to date one of his teachers named Miss Orozco, played by Ray Don Chung. And he's also sent to tutor this dropout named Trina Lester. But of course, Rick also. But of course, this does not really keep Rick, safe from Victor as he confronts the drug dealers gang for the last ditch effort to save the school and his career and all. So this is pretty much like an action-based comedy that premiered back in the 80s. This is definitely pure 80s gem. Jim Belushi, he was so good in this film. I mean, he's done action before, obviously, because of he did do a movie with Arnold a couple years ago as well. The film was also directed by Christopher Kane. The writing was pretty fun. I mean, the 80s has some really cool action movies, and while this is while Jim Belushi is no Arnold, he's no Sylvester or anything like that. He definitely had some really cool moments in this film. The humor is pretty decent. Whoever knew that movie about a principal will actually work out well, but it worked out pretty decent. He even gives a really fun speech about the use of drugs. The violence is pretty cool. It has some very dark humor in it. I mean, this is definitely a really decent film worth checking out if you guys never seen that. If you guys have never really seen The Principal, you can find it on Vudu, Prime Video, Apple TV. Really fun 80s film. Anyway, let me let you guys. Have you ever seen the movie The Principal? If so, what's up? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Drop comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Simbu signing out.